Baruch Hashem. We're back in Shurim, back in Halacha Sheh, back in Hilchos Refuah. We will be taking a couple of days break, obviously, to discuss the Inyanim and Halachas of Tu B'Shvat. Haba Aleinu L'Toiva. B'Siyata D'Shmaya on Sunday, I think that we'll do that. Sunday, Monday, we'll do Hilchos Tu B'Shvat with the Inyanim and obviously Halachas. But I want to continue today a little bit of Hilchos Refuah with a couple of days break. I want to start with an email. Look at my shade. It's not a Sunday 12:15 email. This is just a regular. No. The truth is, it's a very important email because it's about something I said last year. So I want to just go over it. I want to mention it because it's important. And Chaim, have a seat. We're in the middle of the sugya of meichush. Okay, meichush means someone that has a slight discomfort. The shaila is, what is he allowed to do? So the general halacha is that a meichush is also to take or do any medication situation, whether it's a pill, whether it's cream, anything like that. We gave last time a bunch of heterim of when it's mutter for a meichush. Rabbi said, remember, we are not discussing a choyle she'ein bo sakana, Zachariah. We are not discussing someone that's ill in bed and is gefelach in pain. We're not discussing that. That person will discuss next stage. That's mutter to take medication. We're talking about a person that's got a little bit of a slight nuchi, discomfort, feels a bit schwach. That person cannot take medication. One of the heterim, if you remember, we gave was what? Was crushing the medication and putting it into food or a cake or into applesauce or whatever it may be and having it on Shabbos, right? Crushing it and putting it into something before Shabbos and eating it on Shabbos. And I mentioned something and I said, if you remember, Marty, you remember I said that I spoke to a doctor, which I did, that, for example, Advil, just for an example, I asked him if a person has a headache every Shabbos afternoon after sleeping or whatever, and he wakes up in the morning, Shabbos morning, and he wants to take a pill, which obviously is a shaila of a meichush, what's he meant to do? He's going to crush it before Shabbos, put it in a piece of cake. I'm not getting involved in Simon Pei test, whether you're allowed, whether you're not allowed to eat cake before Shabbos, I have no idea, but one thing I do know is that I asked him if it ruins the potency, the koyach, right? The ability to heal if it's crushed up Advil in some applesauce. Right? Good child, and the doctor told me no. So that's what I mentioned to Ilam. So I received this email. We'll call him Rav Moshe because that's his name. Hello, Rabbi. I enjoyed tremendously your very informative shiurim. In a recent share about medicine and Shabbos, you mentioned that crushing pills is not a problem. That's frequently not the case. There are many medications that are engineered to be absorbed slowly after over many hours. They should not be crushed. Similarly, some medication needs absorption past the acid stomach, right, gastric, and are absorbed in the small bowels. Many capsules are not allowed to be opened and sprinkled over other foods such as applesauce. The acid in the stomach will damage them. Okay, so I want to, keep up the great work. Yishurim Gavaldik. So he's just giving a nice ha'ara to say what we mentioned last time. You have to know there are certain pills that should not and cannot be crushed. But the only thing what I was talking about last time was Advil and something similar to that, a painkiller like Advil. And I spoke to a doctor and he told me that if you crush it, it helps the headache in no way. But let's talk about that for a moment right now. Let's talk about Advil and things that are used for painkillers when a person has pain, a person has a headache, and these sorts of things. What is the din? So there's a Moediga Sefer called the Nishma Shabbos. Gewaldiger set of Svarim, Nishma Shabbos, a Ravin, I think it's in Borough Park, Chosh V'Yid, unbelievable Baki, and he writes over there that he thinks it should be mutter on Shabbos to take all headache pills. You're only a meichush, and meichush you're not allowed to take medication. So he says the reason why it should be mutternes is because it doesn't heal anything. What does the headache pill do? It numbs the pain. The pain doesn't go away. When you take an Advil, it's not a real refuah, it's not healing the problem, it's numbing the pain in your brain. If that's the case, it's not a refuah. Okay? That's an interesting shaila. That's number one. Okay? Number two, there's a Moediga Tshuva in the Debet Sinarov, in the Bemoisha. You can look this one up in Chelik Aleph, Simon Lamed Gimel, Ois Hey. It's a very long tshuva, Ois Hey. See, he brings down, somebody asked Rav Yonason Steif, one of the big poskim, if you're allowed to take Advil and the such on Shabbos, even for a meichush, and he said, Rav Yonason Steif apparently said that it's mutter to take. Why? It's a Michael Briam. Do you remember last year we said that anything that normal healthy people eat or drink, you can do on Shabbos, even if you're doing it for refuah purposes, chicken soup, chuck, all these sorts of things. It's a normal healthy thing for a person to do. So Rabbi Yonasan Streif is reported to have said, even though Debet Sidurav said, I don't know if he actually said it, I don't know if anyone really understood it, whatever, but he's reportedly have said that it's a Michael Briam. Why? People take Advil Stam, right? There's whatever that people go to other people and say, can I have an Advil, please? And they say, yeah, sure, take an Advil, right? The guy's not sick. The guy's okay. Okay, Dr. Friedman already told us to have to warning about, careful about illegal pharmacies in various institutions. Anyway, the point is that he wanted to tie it to Michael Briam. People take Advil Stam. They take Advil. You have a little bit of a headache. And nowadays generation, you have a little bit of headaches, have to stay in bed for 3 days. Now, people are a weak generation. What did he call us? Marshmallows. A bunch of marshmallows, right? Hey, there's the strength. Where's the koyach? You have a headache. You feel sick. You get out of bed. You come to Shachris. You come to Seder. Savada. Anyway. Okay. We'll leave it at that. Okay. So the point is that he wanted a taina that it's a Michael Briam and therefore it's mutter. So there is definitely what to say to be more makel by Advil and the such than other pills, because number one, it doesn't really heal you, it numbs the pain, and number two, it could be it's a Michael Briam, people take it stam for no real reason, you don't even have to be a Meichash to take it, they're scared they may even get a headache, which we'll talk about as well. So yes, really and truly, the halacha is, if you have a headache on Shabbos, you cannot take an Advil or anything similar. However, you could crush it into something, or there's definitely a mokum to be making if it's quite a bad headache. We'll call that a mixas chayla. Maybe it goes even above the level of a meichash, and we can be making. What about this? What's that?
You're erasing the words on the.
You're erasing the words. Psh. Vergleiche gewaltige kasha. Samoelige kasha. That's gewaldig. You have words on the pill, and you're taking that, right? So what's the answer? What's the answer? We spoke about this, no? What's that? Sorry, chachila. The Indian of erasing is erasing a letter on the base. If you eat the whole base, there's no base left, and maybe there's no moichik. Okay? That's a sugi of moichik we're not going into, but it's a great question. Moving on, Rabbi Say. Let's move on. I've got a lot to discuss. What about taking medication when you are not sick to prevent yourself from getting sick? Now this is quite common. I'll give you an example. You know that every single Shabbos Kodesh Nuch the Heilige Tschulent, it's the heartburn, it's coming up. Depends on the age, right? When you get to 28 already, it gets a little bit more, The point is, when you're taking a medication, Marty, before you get the sickness, what's the din in that case? So the din is, even though Marty's machmeh, over here in the shir we're mekel, and the here we share it's mutter to take medication before you get ill. Why? What's pshat? It's a medication's asa. The answer is, and it comes all the way from the Rosh, they mentioned at the beginning, that when a person is sick, he's bohul al rufuasa, lashon harosh. Mimela Chazal were worried that if you take medication, things will come out that are not allowed. If you're not sick yet, then there's no problem. For example, if you take the headache pill before the shluf, so that when you wake up it's already working, you don't get the headache, or you have the Tums before you eat the chulent, then you're fine. Because that's not a problem of medication, because ain't a bahul al rufuasai, and therefore you're allowed to do it to prevent illness in that case. By the way, Tums, yeah. By the way, we're going to talk about it by the sugi of choyle she'ein bo sakana, when people sometimes feel that they're going to get sick, or they know that they're going to get, like tomorrow morning, they know, this could be gefährlich. There's a heter to take real medication. We'll talk about that when we get to choyle she'ein bo sakana. Next case, another heter, Rabbi saying the sugi of meichash. We mentioned that medication that's also is not only a pill, but even a cream. Medicated creams, for example, are also, forget about the shaila of mamreach, mamachek, smoothing, smearing. That's another one of the lamadas malachas. We'll get you for that anyway. But no, Mr. Brewer says in Shenya Dala that you're not allowed, but that's besides the point. The point is that smearing shaila. I'm talking about refuah now. When it comes to refuah, can I put, let's say for example, a person has he has like on one of his fingers or two on his fingers, he has a rash that he needs to put like some kind of very runny cream. It's very runny. It's a very runny oil. He has to put it on there for a few days, and that will be okay, right? So can I put it on my hand, which is healthy, which is fine, and just allow it to run down by itself over the affected area, and not even a shinoi, I'm not even doing anything, I'm putting on a healthy area, and it will go by itself onto the affected area in that case. So over here the poskim say that you are allowed to do such a thing because I'm putting on a healthy area, but to put it on the actual, for example, the chapstick, everyone knows, right, if you got in the winter and your lips are a little bit chapped outside in the cold in the winter, you cannot obviously use a chapstick on Shabbos. That's a shaila of mamachi because it's a stick, it's a hard item, so obviously you can't use that on Shabbos. You can't even dab it, by the way. There's heterim for a person, a chole she'ein bo sakana, a baby with a diaper rash, whatever. Okay, we'll talk about chole she'ein bo sakana. But to do that, you are allowed to put it on the affected area. Somebody asked me recently, he said he has a problem with his lips, so he can't put chapstick on. What's he meant to do? Was he going to pour oil over his face and then it run to his lips? It's not really the good. I mean, Lag Ba'omer, I hear maybe that's the oil and the shemen and the Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Or Bastam on Shabbos Kodesh. So I gave him a gewaldige eitzah. I think it's a good eitzah. I don't know if the Olim are going to like this, but it's a gewaldige eitzah. I told him to make a salad, and in the salad make sure there's a lot of oil in the dressing, and then eat the salad in a sloppy way that will make sure you'll have oil flying all over the place, all over the lips. Boom, you have a eitzah. I think it's a gewaldige eitzah. The Olim is masking to the eitzah? No skit over there. You're masking to the eitzah? Shmuel, you're masking? I think it's a good eitzah, no? I think it's a good eitzah. Let's move on. Okay, you guys are machmer. What can I do? Let's go by saying vitamins. What? Yeah. Vitamins. Let's talk about, where's the English?
Vitamins. Hi.
Aluminium.
Vitamins? Okay. Let's talk about vitamins, Rabbi Sai. Let's talk about... You see, we forgot about you. We forgot about Yair. Heilige Bachem. Okay. Okay. Vitamins?
Someone get this guy a translator.
Okay. Let's talk about vitamins, Rabbi Sai. So the shayla is like this, Rabbi. So when it comes to a vitamin is not healing anything, right? Well, a vitamin's not healing you. You're not sick and you're taking a vitamin. What's the shayla of a vitamin? The shayla is like this. And Rabbi said you should know this when people ask you. They're going to ask you, where's this come from? So you're going to tell them. There's a Magen Avraham. No, almost there. Almost there. Shin Chov Ches. Shin Chov Ches. No. The Magen Avraham tells us a gewaltige Zach. The Magen Avraham says that anything that's a Meichel Brim is mutter, unless it's Mechazik Mizgoy. What's Mechazik Mizgoy? Mechazik Mizgoy means it gives you extra strength. Says the Magen Avraham, anything that gives extra strength is asa because of refuah. Not Rabbi say. Not Rabbi say. Let's get. Ness, ready? Okay. Not only does it mean Mechazik Mizgo means it's strengthening yourself, but it's actually giving you koyach sometimes to do the things that you couldn't do. Now it's a machlokes haposkim lemaaseh. If we paskin like this Magen Avraham, most gedolei achronim paskin like the Magen Avraham, including the Lavush, the Eli Rabbah, the Tosfos Shabbos, Reb Moshe Feinstein, the Bresoilam, that's the Osnidbru, and many gedolim that they held like this Magen Avraham. Now, what does it mean, halacha lemaaseh? So let me give you 4 categories, which let's split this up. Halacha lemaaseh, it's important to understand and get clear when is it mutter moti to take a vitamin and when is it asa. So let's talk about number 1. When a person is actually unwell, he's actually unwell, and the reason he's taking vitamins now is in order to, let's take all questions we'll take afterwards, I just want to get to the categories. If a person is unwell and he's taking it in order to make sure, right, to strengthen himself, resistance against more illness or recovery from the illness that he's still within, so that is mutter for a person to take such a vitamin in that case. That's number 1. Number 2, what about if a person is not sick, he's not ill, he's a bit schwach, he's a bit run down, he's a bit tired, low energy, he's a bit run down in that case, and he's taking the vitamins to give him that extra energy. That is exactly what the Magen Avraham is talking about, and that is Mechazik Mizgoi. And even if you want to say that, like the Moshe Debetsin Rav says, that especially in America, vitamins are Michael Brian, people take them all the time, it's a normal thing to eat, they take them as a supplement diet for many, many foods and things that they're minerals that they don't get. But on Koponim, Mechazik Mizgoi Tuli, if you're taking it specifically to give yourself koyach and energy, that's what the Magen Avraham, which Rav Moshe and many Gedolim held like, and it should not be taken in that case, unless of course you crush it into something before. We gave it to him already. Number 3, we'll take questions afterwards. Number 3, if a person is perfectly healthy, perfectly good, everything is gavaldik, everything is the way the Rebbeinu Shalom wants it to be, which it always is, and the reason he's taking it is to protect himself from illness. The winter is coming, and he knows when winter comes, he can get a cold, he can get all sorts of things. So he takes it for that reason, to prevent himself from getting ill, to give his body the koyach to fight illness that he knows every year in the winter, whatever it may be, he's going to get. Then avada, it's mutter in that case. And the 4th case is a person is perfectly well and he's taking it just extra. Why not? It's good to have extra minerals and vitamins. I'm not doing any reason specifically, whatever it is, then that will pashtus, according to most poskim, be asa in that case. Now, Rabbi said there's many, many lists of pills that are, shayla, for example, sleeping pills. Many people ask, are we allowed to take a sleeping pill on Shabbos or not? Right? So even though there are many that are machmeh, like Dubi, over here generally we makel and we say that you are allowed to take sleeping pills because if a person takes a sleeping pill, it's because he cannot sleep. He finds it difficult to sleep, and if he doesn't sleep, then tomorrow he'll be feeling schwach. So there's definitely a repercussion. But there are many gedolim that go with Dubi and say that it is asa. But here we're dealing with the Durabanan. But Makam Chayla, over here, we could definitely be makel. There are all sorts of shaylas, caffeine pills, pills to lose weight, all sorts of shaylas that come up. What I want to discuss next time is what about doing medicated situations that have no shaykhs to medicine. So for example, if a person gets a splinter or a thorn in him, is he allowed to take it out if it's causing discomfort? Is a person allowed to put a retainer, or in English, a brace, all these sorts of things into his mouth? There's a certain type of healing, but it cannot be done with pills. What do we say about doing some kind of medication situation, a healing situation, fixing of the goof of the body, but that cannot be used and done through pills? Are we more makel in that case? In Mitzvah Hashem, after Tu B'Shvat, we'll discuss that. Shaila, have a wonderful day.